Coming off of Arsenal's 2-1 scrappy win against Chelsea, with Raya, in my opinion, being the man of the match, the standout performer, the guy who saved us a huge 3 points, multiple huge saves, especially that one we think of Garnacho's cross, beautiful save by Raya, and for me, Raya being the man of the match. But I thought in this video, I want to shine a light on someone who I thought was arguably man of the match as well before Raya pulled out those amazing saves. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, rightfully or wrongfully, have kind of questioned his level this season compared to what we saw from last. Although I think his level has remained the same for the most part this season, he is getting some criticism here and there about certain sections of his game, but I felt his performance against Chelsea was across the board, wherever you might see him as a weakness, was extremely good. He was very competitive in every facet of the game. He looked really good in every facet of the game, and he didn't really have too many weaknesses in this game against Chelsea. And that player is, of course, Jurrien Timber. A lot of Arsenal fans this season, I've seen the discourse, have said Jurrien Timber hasn't been as good this season as he was last season, especially when he's going forward. He hasn't been horrible, but I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans saying that they've expected a lot more out of him. His level has dropped, and I thought in today's video I want to touch on his performance against Chelsea because I thought it was really good, but I also want to touch on that. Has Jurrien Timber's level dropped this season? And I'm going to tell you why I don't think it has. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, I don't need to sit here and break the news to you guys that Jurrien Timber was really good against Chelsea. I thought he's very solid. He gave whoever was attacking him at the time a really tough time. Of course, he scored the winning goal, which is always beneficial. It's always helpful when you're trying to put in a good performance. But I thought he was really good from the first minute to last. Looked extremely solid defensively. Looked better offensively than a lot of people have said he's been this season, so that was also a really positive sign. And I thought overall it was a really professional performance from him, a type of performance that kind of would be a standard last season especially. Of course, the stats also show that themselves: a goal in the game, 25 out of 27 accurate passes, 2 out of 2 shot accuracy, 1 chance created, 4 clearances, 1 tackle, 3 headed clearances, 4 recoveries, 3 out of 4 ground duels won, 2 out of 2 aerial duels won, was fouled once, only committed 1 foul. Offensively looked pretty good, 3 touches in the opposition box, 42 touches overall, 1 out of 1 successful dribbles, 3 passes into the final third, 1 out of 1 accurate long balls. Overall, there's not a lot to say that he did wrong against Chelsea. I think arguably he would have been man of the match if David Raya didn't pull out some superhuman stuff. I mean, you saw him pull it out, that was outstanding, but I thought Timber was really good against Chelsea, and I also think he hasn't been as bad this season as I've seen him kind of getting slack for. Now, there's no Arsenal fan in the world that is saying Timber has been horrible or terrible this season. A lot of them have kind of been underwhelmed or maybe a little bit disappointed in his performances this season, which you can take how you want to take that. I think we'll touch on that now, but I thought Timber, and I still think Timber, has kind of kept the same level as last season. I don't think he's dropped all that much. And let me break this down into 2 different sections. We have the eye test and we have the stats. Eye test for me is a really important part, and that's kind of where I think most of the criticism is coming for Jurrien Timber. But I think that eye test of Timber having dropped the level from last season, you could say that for a lot of different players. A lot of players who statistically might still be performing well for Arsenal, but maybe on the eye test don't look as good. They don't look as dominant. They don't look as smooth, as confident, as, for lack of a better word, in charge. But I think if you look at Jurrien Timber as just by himself, has he really been that worse? I mean, even in the eye test, has he? I think one thing we must also remember is Jurrien Timber arrived here, obviously had an ACL injury, so we didn't see him for his first season at Arsenal. His second season at Arsenal was last season. It was his first full season playing for Arsenal. So with that in mind, and seeing him put in the type of performances he did, really 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 performances on a regular basis, you are kind of flabbergasted. You are taken aback. You see this player as a really good player. It's his first full season playing for Arsenal, and you are super excited by everything he does. He just looks so good. And this season, that excitement obviously wears off now. He's not a new player like he was last season, so immediately you're going to hold him to a higher standard. That's just completely natural. That's human nature, and I think that's a huge reason why people think he hasn't been as good this season as he was last season. We'll get to the stats now, but I think off the eye test, I don't think he's been drastically worse. Maybe slightly worse, but it's not enough to where I would say he's been worse this season for sure. I think a lot of the excitement has worn off of him being a fresh new player in a title charge, and now he's just a really solid player who has a lot higher of an expectation. But we still kind of forget he's 24 years old. He's played multiple positions for Arsenal across the back line now, and I still think he's looked really good. Even though the eye test he maybe looks slightly less good to a lot of people, I think Arsenal as a whole looks slightly less good on the eye test alone. I think we're scoring a lot more clumsy goals. goals, a lot more scrappy goals. We look a bit more clunky than we did last season. We just don't have that flow, that kind of rhythm to our team that we had last season or even the season before that. And I mean, a huge reason is that number 10 position, which I kind of touched on in the previous video. But I think it's unfair to say Jurrien Timber himself is one of the only guys that have kind of dropped their level. I think a lot of players have, if we're going to look at it off the eye test only. But I just think if we're looking at it very, very fairly, I think Jurrien Timber has still been really good this season. And if you look at the numbers of Jurrien Timber's season so far, well, they tell a very different story to what a lot of these Arsenal fans are saying. I mean, if we just look at the very, very basic metrics, Jurrien Timber this season has played 9 games less than he did last season, but he scored 4 goals and 5 assists in 39 games. This means this season is his highest ever goal scoring season in his career and his higher ever assist season in his career. And we're only just past, let's say, 2/3 of the season. So for someone who has been performing worse this season than he has last, goals and assist wise, well, he's done way better than he has last season. 1 more assist, 2 more goals in 600 less minutes. For right back, I think that's really impressive. And obviously when you go look at his advanced metrics, I mean, Jurrien Timber, as usual, just looks so good across the board. Look at those shooting stats. He's done pretty okay in the passing department. Possession wise, looks very, very good. Defending wise, I mean, it's Jurrien Timber. He's just so good across the board. Can play in just about any position across the back line. Play him in the holding midfield if you really, really want to. Jurrien Timber, I think, is an outstanding player. I think you look at his last 10 games, he's been very solid across the board. Again, he hasn't had as many maybe outstanding performances as he had last season, but I still think his consistency is there without a doubt. His quality is there without a doubt. And if anything, I just think we have higher expectations for Jurrien. That's why we may be more harsh on him. Jurrien Timber has been a vital part to why we are where we are this season. Defensively, he's been outstanding. He's been very consistent. And the one thing you see after this game now we just had against Chelsea, the leadership quality is coming out for Jurrien Timber. I don't know if Jurrien Timber is ever going to be a club captain. I don't think he's one of those, or maybe he will be. He is only 24 years old, so he's still very young. But he comes out after this performance against Chelsea, and he said something I've kind of been saying this whole time. Arsenal have to enjoy this title challenge. He said to the BBC, we have to enjoy it. It's a privilege to be standing here with my teammates with Arsenal. We are fighting for these titles. You have to enjoy it. It's a beautiful place, and we are enjoying it game by game. At the end, hopefully something beautiful. Exactly what I've been saying in one of my videos. Maybe he's watching, but that's exactly the kind of mentality you want to see from one of your better players. Now again, I'm not saying Jurrien Timber is better than he was last season. I don't think he's better, but I don't think he's significantly worse to the point where it's rarely even noticeable. He's putting out the numbers, his highest ever goal season, his highest ever assistant season. He's been really good in terms of defensive quality, I've felt. Going forward is where his main thing comes in, and a lot of people give him credit. Can he be better going forward? Of course he can, but every player can have areas of their game they need to improve. I think for a 24-year-old right back, he's been outstanding. He has that leadership quality. He's really good defensively. What we've seen a lot this season is he's not missing many games, which is an awesome thing to see. Do I think the criticism of Jurrien Timber needing to be better going forward is valid? I suppose you could say so. I wouldn't really give him that criticism, but I also think maybe there's too much focus on him in certain games where maybe the whole team could have done a bit better. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Has Jurrien Timber been underwhelming this season? Has been way worse this season that we need to even be having a conversation about it? What did you guys think of his performance against Chelsea as well? Let me know all that in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.